Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Mic check 2, microphone 2, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Welcome to the 412 Communications broadcast booth for tonight's action between the Buff State Bengals and the ECC Cats. Both teams getting ready for opening puck drop here as the Cats have won 4 games in a row here after starting the year 0-3 after a 10-6 loss to Canisius. They lost to SUNY Niagara and St. Bonaventure. They got revenge against the Golden Griffins, rattling off wins against Mercyhurst, Jamestown, and Jefferson Community College. For the Bengals, they also got their first win of the season against the Golden Griffins back on October 5th. After that game in the month of October, they won 4 of 5, but back-to-back losses bring them into this contest just a little bit cold, and they're looking to right the ship a little bit here against ECC, which is a little bit lower than them in the UNYCHL D2 Metro standings. And with a matchup in a pretty unique jersey matchup, I'll add here as well, things get underway from the Buff State Ice Arena. ECC sending the puck into the high slot. A quick shot on, redirected into the back of the net, and the Cats are on the board early. ECC jumps up top 1-0.
Yeah, Vinny, this is a very dangerous top line that ECC has, and they strike quickly, not even 20 seconds in, on the board early.
You mentioned before we even started the broadcast here today how this game is going to be featuring 2 of the best players, not only in the division, but in the league in general. And those 2 players are Mac Ward, who was featured on that top line for the Cats, and Anthony Marin on the top line for the Bengals. So Buff State finds himself in a bit of a deficit here early, and the Cats looking to extend their lead. A quick shot from the wall is gloved very quickly there by Jace Faso, the starting goaltender for the Bengals. On the other end of the ice, Dominic Zlopik will be in between the pipes for ECC.
That's certainly not the start that Faso had to be looking for. The former ECC Cat goaltender looking to get some revenge on his old team. Not the exact start that I'm sure he would want, but he makes a good save there.
He turns one aside. Out in front, the puck is clear to the near wall, and now Buff State tries to get it out, but a turnover keeps it in. Klubeck sends it down low. That goes around behind the net. Backhanded pass out front is going to be re-corralled and then sent back to the slot where it's intercepted by Indrinsid and then sent ahead. Bengals dump that in to the far corner where it's rimmed around by ECC trying to get the puck out, and a stalwart for a moment there is kept in the zone, and now the Bengals look to work it in. DeRicio sends one on that. Loose puck is there. That one backhanded to the point, but not out. Kept in by Buff State. That shot ricochets just wide of the net. Knoll sends that up the wall. The pass is errant and all the way into Bengals territory where it's corralled by Blackley and then sent ahead. That's going to be just a bit too far for Stotz, and that will result in an icing. Officially recording that first goal will be Christian Leone, and to no surprise, assisted by the line mates Mac Ward and Kevin Riemann, who had big roles in their most recent victory. Down 4-1 after the first period, ECC came back to get a victory over Jefferson Community College in their most recent contest, the most recent of those 4 straight wins for the Cats.
And it was that top line that was very instrumental in that. They scored 4 of the 6 goals against Jefferson and really drove the comeback in the third period. 4
points for Mac Ward in that game. Riemann, who ended up scoring the game winner with just under 4 to go, had 3. In come the Bengals now, trying to even this game up early as Stotz works into the corner, trying to send a pass to the high slot. That one knocked away into the near wall and then sent right back into the corner again. Quinones rims it around the wall, kept here on the blue line by Zach, who sends it right back in. And then to the far point, Lawrence will settle it down. He sends it back in. Behind the net it goes. It's knocked down there for a moment by Zach. It jumped over his stick, but he's able to get it back. High pass to the slot. Opportunity. The shot is blocked in front of the net and sent down the ice by Quinones, and that will result in an icing as Indrinson chases after it. A little bit of pressure here by the Bengals in this first period, but not quite finding anything on net as Zlopik has had a pretty quiet night so far.
Good response, though, with that shift after giving up the goal on the game's very first shift, just 20 seconds into the game. Buff State getting their legs under them, it seems, here with that most recent shift. Let's see if they can gain any momentum from that.
Face-off just down to our right here from the 412 Communications broadcast booth. My name is Vinny Cristiano III, alongside Aaron Alpern here today, bringing you the action on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Buff State in the neutral zone here, trying to work it ahead. Nice move made by Figueroa as he cuts to the right. Tried to dive past Shea, but inevitably the puck bounces into the corner. Taken back over again, and now working it in is Marin. He gets taken to the ice. No penalty there, so now it'll be the Cats working it ahead, and that'll be dumped in immediately by Kruskowski. Near corner, backhanded along the wall. Kruskowski lost it, and now Buff State goes back the other way. Marin on his forehand has that poked away from him. Support keeps it in, though, from Allen. And then along the wall, eventually his pocket is picked by Matthews. He goes D-to-D behind the net. The puck jumps up on Marchiello, though. So Buff State keeps it in. Figueroa made a move at the blue line, goes back all the way to the blue line. Then the shot is redirected wide. Another opportunity from Allen is blocked, but that looked like it hurt. And as the puck is sent to the wall, Shea is able to pop back up and re-enter the play, but not before Marin has it. Pass, high slot. That one jumps off the stick of Blackley and into the corner. And so Miller will send it up the wall to the blue line, but not out. Marin is back there to keep it in. He sends one towards the far post. That one looked like a bit of a pass that didn't quite make the mark, and as a result, it goes in the corner where Miller will chase after it for the Cats. D-to-D pass behind the net, and then eventually it's flipped all the way back out towards center. A bouncing puck is settled and then sent back towards the center ice line, and then sent immediately back in by Miller as both teams will make some changes, and Owen Gang will settle it behind his net. His pass to the near side tried to find Blackley, but it's taken away and then spun towards the front of net once more before being sent right back out towards center. And ECC now with an opportunity to regroup. Another ricocheting pass finds its way back to the stick of Blackley once more. A nice break out there by the Bengals is thwarted by Mac Ward, who sends it right back into the far corner. And now Kummer will chase after it. Near wall poked away to the front of the net. Anderson lost control of it. The quick shot turned aside by Faso. Up the wall and out to center ice. And here come the Bengals. Mandel takes a shot. That one just missed to the far side. Zlopik may have gotten a piece of it. The puck stays in ECC territory for the time being. Taken away by Doricio. Batted towards the front of the net. Intercepted by the defenseman standing right at the top of the crease. And then Winkowski is going to send it all the way down the ice. Riemann chased after it. Has it on his forehand on the near wall. He cuts towards center. That one poked away from him, but he's able to keep it in at the blue line on a nice play. And here come the Cats right in front of the net. The shot, and Faso stands tall to make the save.
Well, we've talked about this top line of ECC being potent, and so far with 2 shifts on the ice, they have certainly backed up what we've been saying. They had a goal in the first shift, and then they're buzzing in the offensive zone, creating turnovers and chances again.
Just over 5 minutes into this first period, and I definitely would say that most of the possession has been had by Buff State. Scoreboard right now not inherently reflecting that, as, of course, the Cats got on the board just a few seconds into this contest on the goal from Leone. Buff State, meanwhile, trying to break out of their own end here. Is at the blue line. That one sent ahead across center ice. Cutting into the zone now is Stotz, who drops that off. Pass to the near side, intercepted. Now the Cats try to go the other way. Poked out towards center, and chasing after it is Knoll, as he's hounding Colby Lawrence behind that Buff State net. Zach along the wall, flips that out of his own blue line. And again, Stotz will work in. He crosses the top of the slot, cutting on his forehand, feeds it out in front, they score! Vincent Zach standing on the doorstep, buried the nice pass, and we are even at 1 goal apiece, just over 6 minutes into the first period.
Vincent Zach's 4th of the season, a pretty finish there on the nice setup by Luke Stotz. And it took about 6 minutes to happen, but Buff State got their answer. They were knocking at the door for the last couple of shifts, and now they've tied it at 1.
Their possession eventually results in the zone time paying off, and Stotz makes it happen, going all the way around the outside of the slot and then feeding it right on the tape, as Zach is able to even it up here at 1 goal apiece. We'll see if the Bengals are able to keep the pressure. Right now, it's the Cats with the puck. They lose control of it in Buff State territory, and a long pass ahead, and here comes Zach again on the near side. He takes a shot. That one fought off by Zlopik. Still in the zone, knocked down by Zach again. He makes a toe drag to go to his backhand, then spins it to the near wall. Marin off the bench, didn't quite have enough time to get to it, but a nice back check there by Stotz is able to knock it down momentarily. And Klubeck will work it ahead. He tried to cut in, but to no surprise, Anthony Morin was able to steal it away from him, and he now starts forward with speed through center ice, through the neutral zone, in all alone, takes the shot. That one, he may have fanned on it, just missed wide to the left. ECC goes the other way across the blue line with Kruskowski. He races in and is bumped off the puck behind the net. Now it's Figueroa with it behind his own net. He lost control of it for a second. Indridson right there to help him out, and he'll slap it around the end wall where Gang is waiting for it on the near side. He helps it ahead for Figueroa. Far side pass for Marin, who has room. Walks at forehand. He scores! The nice move from Anthony Marin is his 15th point of the season and his 10th goal. He puts the Bengals up top 2-1 in the first.
Pretty finish there, quickly developing play for the Bengals, and they get the last 2 goals here within about a span of a minute and a half of game time. And while ECC came out and grabbed some quick momentum here in this game, getting the game's first goal just 20 seconds in, it's been really all Bengals since then.
The first sentence out of my mouth, you might not have expected to talk about the goalie that didn't get scored on, but I don't think Jace Faso has really had to touch the puck since that first minute. Here come the Bengals again with an opportunity. Allen takes a shot. That one ricochets just wide.
If you get 2 shots in a row in past a goaltender, just keep firing it at him, see if he's starting to question himself.
Yeah, at this point, Buff State seems like, aside from that lapse for the first maybe 20 seconds when they allowed that goal, they have to like what they're doing right now, as they do have the majority of the zone possession time and the shots. And, of course, now most recently the lead on the scoreboard. That could change here as ECC looks to break in, but the Cats see that one poked back into the corner as it fell off the stick of Mac Ward. Taken away from him by Blackley, who feeds it ahead. Figueroa unable to settle it at center. And Shea turns around just inside his own blue line. He sends a pass ahead. ECC looking forward. Working in is Riemann. He tries to cut to the net, lost it, but then gathers it back behind. Fed it out front. An opportunity there. That shot was blocked. Nice play in front of the net. Back at the point for Shea. He cuts in past a forechecker. He feeds it far side, and then fanning on the one-timer was Ward, and then getting it towards the goal. Sees Faso have to make a play on it, and he does indeed make the save.
Theme seems to be that Buff State is in pretty firm command of this game, except for when number 11's line out there. When you see Mac Ward in red come out there with Riemann and Leone, it seems to even out very quickly, if not being most of the play in the Buff State zone.
I would imagine that he, Riemann, and then Leone will see a lot of ice time as this game goes on, and the same can be said most likely for Marin, Allen, and likely Figueroa as well for the Bengals, as those 2 lines seem like, when they are on the ice, kind of hard to take the puck away from them.
We'll see whether or not the coaching staffs try to do any line matching with those 2 top lines, whether or not they want to try to stay away from the other top lines or have their top guys out there against the opponent's best players.
I think there's definitely something to be said for either of those philosophies, as Buff State tries to work the puck in again. Mandel sends it into the corner. Quinones works it up the wall for the Cats, and then a big hit laid on there by Dericio, who is, I believe, going to be whistled for a penalty here along the wall, as we will see our first special teams action of the night.
Roughing call. I don't know if the coaching staff is going to not like the penalty in the offensive zone or if they're not going to like the call, but it looked like a pretty clean hit from my perspective. Obviously, we're 100 feet away and trying to get a good, clear view of it in much the way the referees had a view, clearly a better line of sight that they had on that play. It looked like just a good hard hit, but this day and age, sometimes those hard hits are automatic penalties depending on what referee you have that night.
Yeah, I think the crew, and this is a pertinent conversation that's been happening on social media in regards to the highly anticipated Bills-Chiefs game on Sunday. A lot of conversation about that refereeing crew. So that point carries over across all of sports, right? And depending on what they might be leaning towards in terms of what really constitutes a roughing or a boarding, certainly important as that game goes on, and these teams will feel that out for this crew here today. So ECC heads to the power play, looking to even things up at 2 goals apiece. The long shot from distance is directed wide. Cats still with it, feeding it out in front, but unable to escape the pressure is Riemann. And as a result, Blackley takes it away along the far wall, and he'll send that all the way down the ice. And that'll be played by Zlopik just behind his net. And ECC will look to set up on the breakout here, now halfway through period number 1. Ward in on the left. Made a nice move. That one redirected away from him, but up the wall. Possession kept by the Cats. Pass to the far side. Shea walks in. He fed it to the far corner, but not able to get a shot on. Now back to the point. Shea with it again on the far side. He'll walk the blue line. Finds Ward. He walks in. Nice move, but between his legs. That one was taken away. Still gets it back, though. Shea at the point. He winds up, fakes a shot, gives it back to Ward. He takes a shot that redirects. That one goes just to the left corner. And so the bookie will settle it. Back to the point. Shea takes a shot. That one also misses just to the left. Back here to the Bucky, whose shot is fought off as well, and then eventually sent out to center ice, where Shea will settle it. Just about 30 seconds left to go in the penalty kill for the Bengals.
Didn't get the full clear, though, so only one change able to be made there with the penalty killers.
Indridson backhands that up the glass and out of the zone, so a fortuitous bounce there for Buff State allows them to finish off that change for the penalty killers. Now as the Bucky sends one across the crease, it'll go into the far corner with now single digits left on the clock in this ECC man advantage, and that time will tick off as the puck is sent all the way down the ice. Back to even strength here at the Buff State Ice Arena. Score still 2-1 in favor of the home Bengals, who are looking to end a very small but still a 2-game losing skid. And now a 3-on-2 as they work it forward, but that is negated by an offsides call, and a whistle will stop play. 8:10 left to go here, period number 1. If you're just joining us here on the Nickel City Hockey Network, ECC jumped out to a 1-goal lead just 20 seconds into this first period, courtesy of Christian Leone. But goals from Zach and Morin were able to give the Bengals back an advantage here before the halfway point. And that's where we sit right now here as these teams still skate with plenty of time left to go in the first frame. Figueroa up the near wall. He cuts to the slot, takes a shot. That one gloved down by Zlopik. And then the loose puck is sent back down the ice where, coming off the bench, Lawrence will handle it just to the near side of his own end. Figueroa receives the breakout pass. He sent it far side for Morin, who was able to feed it ahead for Allen. He cuts into the near corner. Backhand pass, Figueroa out in front, and a big stop by Zlopik is able to turn it aside. And then the ECC defenders are able to clear the zone for the time being.
So far, at least, Buff State's been keeping their top line away from the ECC top line, having the last change and the opportunity to get the matchup that head coach Tim Turner wants.
Right now, this top line for Buff State does have possession. Here comes Allen. He waits, winds up, tried a slap pass, but a little bit of traffic stopped him from being able to do that. And then firing it all the way down the ice, but on net, allows ECC to make a change here. And now that second line for the Bengals will try to go to work. Doricio chases after his man in the offensive zone, forces the turnover, but Jacob Allen will have to retreat back to his own blue line. And then he sends one right back in on net as well. This time around, the goaltender will decide to hang on to it, and that brings us a whistle with 6:44 to go left in period number 1.
Looked like Allen was looking for an opportunity to make a change. The rest of his line mates had already made their switches, and instead of trying to push that one up ice, he was looking to get a pass up ice and then go off for the change to complete the line shift change. But looked like he might have had some room to do something with that in the neutral zone, depending on where he was in terms of his stamina.
Yeah, I think after that long shift, and even if he had the stamina, I think, too, you have to think, based on how the last couple of shifts have gone, got to be pretty happy with just keeping that zone time. And the Bengals are able to win an offensive zone face-off here and get themselves another opportunity, but that one is smothered by Zlopik, who hangs onto it at the top of the crease. And right now, I mean, again, Aaron, this has been pressure that's been really consistent since, the 19-minute mark on the clock in this first period. And that's not necessarily just the top line anymore. We've seen how a couple of other Bengals players have gotten some chances here in the last couple moments.
ECC counters with the Mac Ward line. Let's see how this shift goes. The chess game continues.
Zlopik has to block her away a dump-in attempt. And as the puck is sent to the blue line, it's not out, but fed in around behind the net on a shot that was wide. Dericio feeds it around behind the net for Ian Wirth, who gives it right back to him. Dericio is forced off the puck, but Wirth is able to knock it down. He tried to feed it in front of the net. Now he does, but that's intercepted by Riemann and then sent immediately out of play, and a whistle will keep the puck inside the defensive zone for the Cats. And now Buff State makes a change and brings some different personnel onto the ice after that second line, if you will, for the Bengals was able to keep the puck away for the most part from the very talented first line of Ward, Riemann, and Leone.
This is the group of Stotts, Zach, and Mitchell. Let's see how they can do against this top line. This was the Bengals group that got the game's first goal for Buff State.
And this is a group that has had a couple of chances as well as this period goes on. And another puck that goes out of play continues the theme of what has been kind of a slow first period. After that quick goal, it seemed like things were going to jump out to a highly energetic game, but we've seen a couple of whistles in the meantime. We'll see if ECC changes that here as they work the puck into the offensive zone. Indridson is able to force his man off the puck in the far corner, but able to stay with it for a moment is Leone, and they result with the puck, and the shot on there is saved again by Faso as traffic in front did not stop him from directing that cleanly into his glove.
And again, another scoring opportunity developed by this top line from ECC. Mac Ward letting that shot go. Good angle, though, for Faso to make a good, clean save on that one and make sure there was no second chance.
Tough angle shot fought off there as it goes off the outside of the post as Ward had another chance. At the blue line, he's able to skate back and retrieve it, and as he now tries to break into the zone, Mitchell is able to steal it away from him. Pass ahead is able to be found by Stotts as he tried to work it in. That was stolen off of his stick by Leone on a nice back check. And then Ward starts the regroup here for ECC. In ahead. Long shot save made again by Faso. And he will glove that now with less than 5 minutes to go in period number one. And now it will be the top line of the Cats getting a bit of a rest, as they were able to formulate a bit of zone time once more. Still down 2-1 on the scoreboard.
Just under 5 minutes to go here in the opening period. Been fairly even. Just the one extra goal, by the way, of the team in gray, giving us the 2-1 advantage for Buff State.
Jacob Allen works in. That one kicked away by Zlopik. Back to the point, winding up and taking a shot. That one misses high. The ricochet finds its way out towards center after being helped there by Johnny Palladino. And Paluch starts it ahead. Tipped inside the blue line and then immediately right back out of the zone, and Lawrence will settle it down. He flips it ahead. Glove down right at center ice for a moment by Paluch and then helped ahead by Allen. Back across the blue line again as these teams play a neutral zone hot potato session for a little bit and then eventually settled by Orlowski, who's taken to the ice. A little bit of a collision there results in Orlowski losing his glove. Back to the point. The shot fought off by Faso there. That one up towards his shoulder. And now Allen is going to have it along the near wall. He stops to create some time. His pass knocked down at center ice, but able to find the stick of a teammate who sends it just high and wide. Still being fought for as Allen steps into it. He lost control of it as he tried to work towards the net. And now Kluback works ahead. Kluback with speed on the near side. He cuts to the net. The puck is loose as Faso was able to fight it off to the far side. And now Buff State regroups behind their own net here, and they'll send a stretch pass just out across the red line. Poked away for a moment by Mitchell. By Paluch, rather, I should say. And again, it will be Lawrence sending it out to center for Allen. He leaves it off for Figueroa. He cuts in, now on his backhand. Feeds it to the far side, but Marin got tied up and couldn't get a stick on it. Figueroa, nice move through the legs here in the high slot, still with the puck on a string, and now he skates into the corner. He ducks around Marciello, still with it now. Fed it out towards Allen. It didn't make it to him, and Marciello was able to clear it. But Buff State with possession. Flipped ahead. Allen skates into it. He cuts in, now to the middle, waits, unleashes one, he scores! Jacob Allen, with his 11th point of the season, puts Buff State up by 2. It's 3-1.
picture-perfect shot there, picking the top corner. Jake Allen on a good, hard snapshot, giving himself the space in the mid-slot to let it go and making no mistake finishing there to give his team the 2-goal lead. Still a little less than 3 minutes to go in the period. Still time to add to it for the Bengals.
So 3 straight goals after allowing the first one for Buff State. And 3 different goal scorers here, as the black and orange have taken command of this game here early. However, this isn't something that ECC hasn't dealt with. We talked a little bit earlier in this game about how they were down 3-1 after the first in their most recent win and ended up coming back to get a 6-5 victory after allowing another goal in the beginning of the second period to be down 4-1. So that deficit is not something that's insurmountable for this ECC team. And when you have some of the talent they have on this roster, never out of a game as they look to win their 5th in a row. But another little bit of an uphill battle to climb here as we get into the latter stages of period number 1. Puck sent out towards center ice, taken away by Miller. And then inside their own zone, ECC starts the breakout. Near side of the ice, Matthews, his shot is blocked. Loose puck to be had, and the shot from Miller didn't make it all the way to the net. Marin spins around in the far corner, and he'll send it ahead for Figueroa, who's got room. He sent an immediate pass forward that was redirected by Worth into the corner off his skate. And now the Cats start ahead. Indridson intercepts the stretch pass, but it goes off of Miller and onto his stick, and his shot again is blocked, which now gives Worth a chance to skate into the puck with some speed. He starts up the far side, had the rolling puck bounce on him, was able to settle it and make a pass regardless, and now behind the net is Marin. He feeds a saucer pass up to Indridson at the point. His shot looking for the redirection, misses just wide. Another one sped towards the front. That one fought off once more. And then around behind the net, Worth is able to force a turnover momentarily, but now as Buff State makes some changes, the Cats are able to clear it all the way down the ice. No icing as Lawrence chases after it, and Indridson with some room will feed it forward. In over the blue line, sent ahead. Opportunity now, cutting in is Stotz. That one he has now just to the left of the net. He's bodied off the puck there by Ward, who steals it away. And he now cuts just past his own net and starts forward with under 75 seconds remaining in period number 1. He sends a bad angle shot on. That one's saved again by Faso. And then Mandel sends it around the wall. Ward tried to send it to the point, but it did not make it all the way there. Instead, Stotz steals it away. Indridson in there helping to pry it free, and then the return pass finds Doricio. Stotz steals it away now himself. He feeds it out in front, the backhand, unable to get to the stick of Mandel on the near side, but back into the corner chasing his Stotz now. He leaves it off, but Ward is able to chase after it and force the turnover, and then the dump-in attempt is redirected all the way down the ice, and Leone will chase after it. Blackley stole it away from him and knocked his stick to the ice. And along the far wall, Mandel has a little bit of time to work with. He fans on it right in front of the net for Riemann. Takes the shot, and snagging it in the glove is Faso to keep him out of the net with just over 12 seconds left to go in period number 1.
Certainly going to have to give a little stick tap and some appreciation for that save in the locker room during the intermission. That was inches away from being a 3-2 hockey game with a very sloppy bit of work in their own zone against this top line.
And against maybe their second most prolific scorer, and Kevin Riemann standing in the goal and opportunity area, the high slot. ECC trying to feed it to the front of the net. An opportunity here for Riemann again. Takes the shot. That one just missed to the right. Faso may have gotten a piece of it, but the first period ends. Final score of 3-1 after the first 20. And as before we come back for intermission here from the Buff State Ice Arena, reminder that we're in the 412 Communications broadcast booth, the new gold standard for digital media solutions for small businesses. 412 Communications offers consultation for web and graphic design, social media, writing services, multimedia solutions, and more. Visit 412communications.com to learn how they can help your brand build bridges with the people you serve. 3-1 after 20 minutes here at the Buff State Ice Arena. Bengals on top of the Cats. You're watching the Nickel City Hockey Network.
Modern media is everyone shouting for attention and no one hearing a thing. Broadcast to social, print to digital, 412 Communications has the solution to get you heard. Want to know more? Visit 412communications.com today.
Welcome back to the 412 Communications broadcast booth here at the Buff State Ice Arena after the first period. Buff State 3, ECC 1. Vinny Cristiano alongside Aaron Alpern here in the booth. And as these two teams take the ice for the second period of action, we'll see if the Cats are able to jump out as quickly as they did in the first period. Aaron, they scored just 20 seconds into that first frame, but after a little bit of pressure was applied then by the Bengals, it was Buff State able to bury 3 straight goals. The first from Anthony Marin at the 8 or 7.5 minute mark, technically speaking, after Zach was able to get them on the board just about 6 minutes into that contest. And then Jacob Allen, with just under 3 minutes to go, got the insurance marker. ECC, though, like we mentioned, coming off of 4 straight wins, and in their last victory over Jefferson Community College, they were down 4-1 into that second period, came back to win 6-5. We'll see if the same fate is ahead for them here today against the Bengals. Puck drop here for the second period sees ECC start in again. Nice move made there by Leone, and then settled at the point by Ward. Ward in on the backhand, top line against top line here to start this second frame. And on the clean sheet of ice, Ward goes to the ice, slipping as he backhands one off the top of the net. That one seemed like it was fought off there by Faso and then sent down the ice. Chasing after it is Allen, but Ward is able to beat him to it in the near corner. Figueroa tries to bump him off the puck. Morin takes it away. He feeds it in front. Point blank save by Zlopik. And he's able to keep it out as Figueroa was right on the doorstep.
Great save by Zlopik to keep his team in this game. It was only really the second time I think that it's been top line versus top line here in this game. They started the game that way, and ECC got the quick goal 20 seconds in. This time it was a little bit more of an even shift. ECC with a couple of chances. Buff State moved it to the other end, got their chances as well. See whether or not they get the top line against top line matchup going again.
Oh, a quick shot there from Buff State. Saw Ian Worth ring one off the far post. And now Matthews goes the other way. He cuts in front. Faso fights it off. Rebound goes through the crease. And then all the way to the far side. They're able to settle it down. Backhanded out towards center. Settled there by Blackley. He's forced to the wall by Matthews, who set it ahead. And now Miller will work it into Buff State territory. He feeds one on goal after he's taken down to the ice, and it looks like Joey Mandel is going to be going to the box here. The second penalty of today's game goes against the Bengals, number 44.
Second chance coming up for ECC with the man advantage. Unable to do anything in period number 1 with that man advantage, despite the talented group that they were able to put out there for the power play. See whether or not Buff State has learned anything from their successful penalty kill in period number 1, whether or not they can repeat it here in the second.
Pretty quiet first period in terms of penalties as well. These are two teams that average 12 and 13 minutes of penalties between ECC and Buff State respectively. Now, in terms of power play goals, that's one area that the Cats maybe don't have as many as they would like. They're averaging just about a goal on 1 out of every 4. So an area that they would like to improve on, and they can start that right now here with their second man advantage of the day. Puck around behind the net before being fed back to the point. Shea, near side. Quick shot, fought off by Faso. Now far wall, Miller spins away from pressure. Kruskowski, back to the point. DeBucky feeds it to Shea once more. He sends one through traffic. That one didn't make it to the net, but it's settled and knocked down there as Matthews fed it to the far wall. Miller takes a bump as he saw pressure from Gang and then fed towards the net. An opportunity here. Saw a point-blank chance turned aside. Miller again. He was going to try to walk to the net, but forgot the puck, and now he'll have to retreat to the blue line. Near side. Shot. That one blocked to the corner. I think it may have accidentally gone off an ECC player's skate in the melee, but they keep possession. Fed to the front again. Bouncing puck finds its way to Kruskowski, who had to flip it off the wall. Mitchell chases after it. He sends it to the blue line. It jumps off the glove of DeBucky and out. And now
That was a weird play.
Yeah.
It was going to be offside, so
he
tried to delay as much as he could. Then he ended up firing it back into his own zone.
Well, now Marin has it for Buff State as he looks opponent shorthanded, feeds it out in front, and they score. Jacob Allen, his second of the day, and a shorthanded goal extends the Buff State lead. And again, that all stemmed from the unorthodox play right in front of the ECC bench.
Yeah, ECC was in the midst of a line change, and the last player coming off the ice on the change was trying to go in the bench door just inside the blue line. Because of that, Joey Shea had to delay in the neutral zone, and it seemed like he had to delay so long that he got frustrated by it and then ended up just sending the puck back into his own zone. Buff State ends up stealing possession, getting the opportunity. Jake Allen gets his second of the game. It's now 4-1.
So, Buff State rush now stemming off of their most recent goal. We'll see them go back to even strength, but now cutting in is Riemann. He takes a shot. That goes off the crossbar, and that one ricochets up and out of play. And a couple of exciting moments here in the early portion of period number 2. And I still maybe talking a little slowly because I'm trying to process what that situation looked like in front of the ECC bench. And I mean that in just literal moments of, again, in hockey, the game moves so fast. Those happen more often than not, but sometimes you're able to hide a situation like that. Or in my case, I was never on the ice enough to really be a part of that many of them. But in that situation, just a tough break there. Sees ECC now down by 3, but here comes Riemann cutting in, but a nice backcheck. Sees him feed it out in front. The puck is loose for Ward, and now Fasso's able to jump on it as the Cats put some pressure on to try to cut into this lead. Riemann denied by Fasso on a puck that did not quite make it to the net as quickly as he maybe would have liked it to.
Both teams now making some changes after what I think could only be described as some uneven play on both sides there in the last exchange, the last 2 exchanges that we saw, and both sides get fresh crew out there for this face-off to the left of Fasso.
So Buff State able to successfully kill off that penalty, and now ECC 0 for 2 with the man advantage today. But again, with that most recent power play, they had a lot of possession time and were able to feed a couple of pucks towards the net. And based on the first 90 seconds of that man advantage, you really wouldn't have guessed that Buff State was going to get as advantageous of a shorthanded opportunity as they did. But regardless, they're able to use it and very quickly in this second frame go up by a score of 4-1. No icing on the play as ECC chases it into the offensive zone here. Buff State looking to regroup a little bit as Mitchell takes it away along the near wall. He cuts in front of his own net and then poked away from him by Knoll, but it's able to be stolen by Lawrence and then fired all the way down the ice. And icing is called on that one, and so play will pause for a moment to bring the face-off just down to broadcast right with just under 5 minutes to go here in period number 1. This broadcast is brought to you in part by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker to buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property. Trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Call 716-856-2872 or militello.com. As real estate was wide open there in front of the net, but Fasso took it away. He makes a big save to bring us another face-off, this time to the goaltender's left.
And again, both teams making some changes here during the second period, the period of the long change. Always seems to be a strategy that you see whenever there's an opportunity to make a change, whether or not it's 20 seconds or 45 seconds into the shift. Don't get yourself caught out there for an extra extended shift during the long change period.
Mandel off the bench, drops it off. Worth takes a shot, and that one kicked away by Zlopik. Along the near wall, Doricio had it for a moment. That one poked out towards center ice as Mandel went tumbling down with Klubik there for a moment as they got tripped up together. Doricio feeds it in around behind the net. Neither of them can keep track of the puck, and as a result, Mandel's able to take it away in the offensive zone here. He had a lot of room. Instead, he'll elect to spin it around behind. Worth chases after it. He leaves it off. And Doricio cuts to the net. Bang! A shot. That one up towards the face mask of Zlopik, who's able to fend that one away. Noel tried to start in. He lost control of it, moving towards the net, and as a result, it's sent right back into ECC territory. Shea moves it ahead, a little bit too far for DeBucky. And it's now Buff State's going to go the other way. 2-on-1 here with Worth and Mandel. Worth feeds it to Mandel, and then a good back check is able to redirect the puck into the corner. A good effort from Winklowski. Or Palladino, I should say, I think, as a 2-on-1 is thwarted by the ECC defense.
ECC is going to need a lot of plays like that in transition to stay within the game. Any sort of odd man rush that Buff State has at this point in the game could be enough to put the game on ice.
Bengals working possession now in the offensive zone as Blackley chases it into the corner. That one taken away by Paluch behind the net. He spins around from pressure. Fed towards the net. That one knocked into the air, and Zlopik has to play paddleboard with himself there for a second, and he'll snag it onto the air to force a whistle.
Good offensive push here from this line. Jake Allen centering Aaron Johnson and Austin Paluch. Good to see them out there putting some zone time together and see if they can generate another opportunity like that one that Johnson just had.
Puck sent all the way around the near wall. As stepping in to keep it is Owen Gang. The Cats are able to send it to the blue line, not out. And then, a broken stick there sees Winklowski have to race to the bench. Now Winklowski here in his own zone, able to chip it forward as Buff State regroups with it at the center logo. Near side, Blackley fed it forward but lost control of it. That's flipped out towards center over the head of Gang. And Matthews starts ahead. He loses control of it along the near wall. And another pass intercepted right at center ice. And here comes Shea working in. That one kicked aside by Faso in the far corner. Blackley up the wall, still not out. Miller trying to keep it in, and he does. As that one sent towards the net, rebound is there to be had, and then batted away, and then sent down the ice. Icing will be called as ECC's Adam Winklowski chases after it, and Faso had to make a pretty big save there after Miller and Matthews combined with Joseph Shea to put a little bit of pressure on in the Bengals zone. Still 4-1 the score here from Buff State Ice Arena. Just under 8 minutes into period number 2. Buff State feeds it around the end wall. Not out of the zone as it's kept in by Marchiello. Now it will be helped to the blue line and out as Buff State looks to work it in. Paluch has it. He takes a shot. That one saved by Zlopik. And the whistle is blown. A little bit of a pleasant exchange there between Ryan Matthews and Jacob Allen as they give each other a little bit of a hug in front of the net.
Former teammates, Jake Allen played for this ECC squad before coming to Buff State, 2 years with the ECC Cats before he joined the Bengals.
It's always interesting when you play against a former teammate, at what point in the game you get that first opportunity to just acknowledge them. Not quite yet, officially halfway through this game, and Allen and Matthews find that opportunity to exchange pleasantries. Meanwhile, Indridson's able to send one towards the net from the point. Save easily made there by Zlopik. And now the puck goes just to his left.
More than a few players with some familiarity. I'll interrupt myself, though, for this breakaway
Here
for Riemann.
We go. Takes the shot off the post. He thinks it's in. The referees make no signal, and he backhands it towards the goal. And as he gets a little bit of the business from Colby Lawrence, Faso will cover it up to record a save here after Riemann was able to put the puck through the 5-hole of the goaltender, and it did indeed go off that far post. An unfortunate bounce there for the Cats as one of their most talented scorers was looking for his second point of today's game. Ward trying to do the same as he tried to force it in. He now feeds it towards the front of the net. It's off the side and then set up the wall. Pinching to keep it in is Marchiello. He does. And now Riemann again. He spins around to his backhand right at the goal line. Now sends it out in front, and then unable to get the shot off is Leone. And so taken away by Stotz behind the net. Sees him racing out towards center, but Leone races back to try to steal it away. Riemann across the blue line. Sees Marin chase after him and take it away as these two top lines now go head-to-head. Marin tried to make a move as Ward stole it away from him, but it wasn't able to be fed out in front of the net quite yet. Leone tried to knock it down with a glove, and he does, but some extra support on the near side sees Marin escape with it. He cuts across the ECC line, feeds it all the way to the far side for Figueroa, who had to spin around to corral it. He's chased around behind the net by Ward, but still with the puck. Figueroa now knocked to the ice, but the puck underneath him. And now everyone gathers over there at least for a moment. Leone fed that out towards center, a little bit too far to chase after it. And so Kummer will send it ahead right in front of the ECC bench. They want too many men. They're not going to get it. And now Ward starts in. He cuts in with some room. Backhands one just wide of the net. Around behind, fed it out in front once more. Loose puck, kicked away by Faso. Still a chance at it. And then it's moved free. And Buff State able to keep ECC's top line out of the back of the net yet again as now Marin catches a pass that just jumps over his stick as he starts in offensively. Around behind the Cats' net. Now he banks it off the back of the cage, and then the Cats send it to the blue line and out of the zone. And after a quick hesitation, Zach is indeed whistled for offsides, and things will settle down a little bit here after a quick flurry of chances.
A lot of activity in the last 5 or so minutes. No goals to show for it. Some good passing, some occasions where the passing could have been a little bit better. Seems that both teams are effective at setting up opportunities when they're able to move the puck around quickly and get the opposing defense to move. When they try to carry it themselves, the opposing defenses are able to handle that pretty well.
Good example of that there as ECC takes it away, but the clear attempt is not able to get out of the zone, and then the shot from the point from Blackley is easily gloved by Zlopik. 9:22 left to go here, second period. Buff State up 4-1. Broadcast brought to you in part by Envious Gameware, makers of high-end custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. Find them online at enviousgameware.com to get your team a look to be envious of. The Cats envious of the Bengals' ability to score in that first period. They're going to try to answer here as breaking in on the move. Bad save by Faso, who was able to get that left leg over there and kick it aside. Impressive work still from the Bengals goaltender. Now working it is Worth as he backhands one on net. That one turned aside as well, but he still has it in the corner. Former Kenmore West product feeds it to the point. And then Lawrence tried to dump it in, but it's intercepted, and now the Cats work it in on the near side. Miller fed it for Matthews, who had to chase after behind the net. Miller takes a bump and gets a return pass on the goal line, tried to flip it up over the shoulder of Faso, but it goes off his shoulder, off the crossbar, and out of play.
8.5 minutes to go in period number 2, and it's a 4-1 lead for the Bengals here from the Buffalo State Ice Arena. But not for some good chances on both sides here in period number 2. Just the one goal so far, the Buff State fourth goal of the period, the shorthanded goal. But both teams certainly generating some opportunities, and plenty more time here in the period with the long change to generate some chances.
I'd say more opportunities, but less results, which is quite interesting based on how the first period at times seemed a little bit quiet, and yet goals springing out of nowhere. Both teams in this period having some more sustained time and setting up some chances, as well as taking advantage of maybe some mistakes. However, not resulting in pucks across the goal line quite yet. Cats try to change that as Klubik tried to make a move. He's muscled off the puck. Opportunity right in front, and then it jumped over the stick of Noel in front of the net. Back to the point. The shot redirected wide off the stick of Dubuque and then sent back below the goal line again. Noel behind the net there. Pinned by Indridson, but eventually worked free. They'll vie for it. And then sent out towards center, 2-on-1 for the Bengals. Allen takes the shot. He scores, and that is goal number 3 for Jacob Allen. And his teammates celebrate his hat trick and the Bengals' 5th goal of today's game.
You know that's got to be satisfying for Jake Allen to get 3 goals against his old team. You always like getting the hat trick, but it's got an extra little bit of pizzazz to it when you do it against your old mates.
Allen came into this game with 5 goals and 5 assists. Only the second player, I should say, on Buff State with double-digit points. One of 3 players averaging better than a point per game. And right now, he is certainly making the case as one of the more talented offensive players in this division, as he's now got 3 goals already with still just under a halfway left to go in this contest.
You know, we talked early on about how Mac Ward and Marin were 2 of those extreme talents here in this game to keep an eye on. Apparently, Jake Allen heard us talking and said, hey, make sure you include me in that conversation as well, as he's got 3 goals in just a little bit more than half a game.
Marin almost answered back with a goal of his own there, but caught straddling the blue line, trying to stay on sides. Had him a little bit behind the most recent Buff State rush. As now ECC tries a home run play that might work out for him, but a little bit too early over the line is Riemann, as he and Leone had a chance to go in on a 2-on-0 as Shea was behind the net and tried to hit him with the go route.
That's the second time that they've run that play off a defensive zone faceoff, and it almost resulted in breakaway opportunities both times. It's one of those plays where if the defenseman doesn't have a whole lot of pressure on him, he has as much time as he needs to allow the forward to get up ice and then take his time and get that puck to him. Shea got it there both times on that play. If it's a bounce one way or another, that could be an odd man rush or a breakaway for ECC. Buff State defensemen have to be aware of that play going forward.
And that could put the Buff State defenseman in a bit of a pickle as well, because if you have 2 forwards leaving the zone like that, your obligation, of course, you'd think would be to stay with them. However, then you're not there to keep the blue line, and from a defensive standpoint for ECC, you might have a chance there to maybe skate it out with a little bit less pressure and a little more ice to work with. Meanwhile, Marin, trying to work to the net, has that one stolen away from him by Marciello. Flipped to the blue line, but not out. Kept in there by Stotz, but taken away. And now it will be Shea cutting across center ice. He passes it ahead for Ward. He takes a shot. That was blocked, but he gets it right back again. Faso makes the save out in front of the net off the post. Riemann settles it. Finds Shea. That one tipped just over his stick. Now he feeds it in front, trying to find Ward once more, and now Marin starts forward. Marciello is able to force him wide. Now Marin feeds it out in front for Figueroa, who tumbling got a stick on it, but wasn't able to direct it towards the goal. And now it will force Stotz to regroup inside his own blue line, and then the pressure from Leone is able to work it free. Stretch pass ahead. That one a little bit too far for Orlowski, but he redirects it into the corner, so no icing. Gang rims it around the wall as Marin starts forward. He's taken off the puck, which forces his teammates to slow up in the neutral zone, and now Marin heads to the bench for a change, which should give ECC a little bit more time here to try to start a breakout with just over 5 minutes to go in period number 2. Pass ahead. Here comes Riemann. He makes a move. Takes the shot. He scores! And Riemann, with his second of the game, has narrowed the deficit to 3. It's now 5-2.
Well, this line was certainly going to be not kept off the board, or at least not kept out of danger for the rest of the game. In this case, it's Riemann getting the finish there, and a pretty finish as well. Gets alone in front of Faso, makes no mistake there, but you got to really put a good shot in it to get the one past Jace Faso the way he's playing tonight, and he did just that. Riemann getting the second of the game. Yeah,
Faso has had to make a couple of really stellar saves so far. And that one just beats him above the glove, and we'll see if ECC is able to use that most recent goal to capitalize on some momentum.
Let's see if they're able to generate some opportunities with a different line other than the Mac Ward and Riemann line. Uh-oh.
Well, now it's the Bengals with an opportunity. Here comes Ian Worthen all alone. That one off the crossbar! Kept in at the blue line, though, by Lawrence. And he tries to feed it in front, but it's taken away. Bengals almost answering immediately, and Ian Worth with a shot that, quite honestly, probably goes in 9 times out of 10. but the puck may be 1 degree too warm at the time, and a little bit too much ricochet there down across the goal line and out. Wirth tries again. He backhands that below the net. Looks for an outlet and finds one along the far wall. Bouncing puck, though, eventually settled. And Zach will spin around and then send one towards the goal as Wirth was waiting there for a rebound. He was not able to find one as Zlopik was able to cover it up. We're back here at the Buff State Ice Arena, of course, after a short start to the season so far. Plenty of hockey left to go, but these two teams still fighting for spots in the standings in the Upstate New York Collegiate Hockey League. Right now, the Bengals currently sitting in the top spot in the D2 Metro Division, 5th in the overall league standings in UNYCHL. ECC currently sitting in that 4th spot right now in the D2 Metro. And if they can string a couple more goals together, that would certainly help them in their bid to try to climb those ranks and catch the Buff State Bengals. Once again, my name is Vinny Cristiano III, alongside Aaron Alpern up here in the 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard for digital media solutions for small businesses. 412 Communications offers consultation for web and graphic design, social media, writing services, multimedia solutions, and more. Visit 412communications.com to learn how they can help your brand build bridges with the people you serve. Allen, who has a hat trick today, has the puck just in front of his own net. He's going to start forward, but lost control of it right at the blue line. And a nice play by Kruskowski forces it in. Near side, Matthews towards the goal. That one fought off as well by the goaltender. Now out in front off the skate of Kruskowski and right on Faso, who had actually, did it squeak by him?
It got through, but the referee quickly over there waving that one off. That's the second time that there's been a goal that I think ECC thought that they had. Referee seeing things differently.
So unfortunately, Kruskowski is unable to bury his 5th of the season, as that one seemed like it may have went off of his skate as he redirects that one towards the net. So under 3.5 minutes to go here, period number 2. And a face-off inside the Buff State zone. Sees the Bengals clear for a moment, but immediately firing it right back in is Erie Community College. Another long stretch pass will be whistled for an icing. And they will retry the face-off from, I believe, the same spot. Just down here to broadcast right.
Buff State bench not happy about that icing call. Not sure exactly why. It was pretty much just a standard clear. There's really nobody there for it. Most times referees don't like to give benefits to teams that make sloppy plays like that. They had plenty of time to make a pass there. It just was forced up ice.
Just inside their own blue line. A little bit more of a controlled breakout that time for the Bengals, but the pass was redirected all the way down the ice. So obviously no icing, but the possession not able to stay with Buff State for the time being. A battle down low behind the net. Saw Joseph Shea emerge with it. He wants the home run pass again. He's not going to get it as Kruskowski was blanketed. And so Indridson now for the Bengals will spin a pass ahead before a return pass is a little bit too far ahead for him. And Lewis Miller tried to take it away. Now Dericio will backhand it forward. And Shea will settle in the left faceoff dot and look for an outlet. Long stretch pass ahead will be redirected off the stick of Ward and behind the net. Indridson, the first one back for it. Blackwell had it jump over his stick, and then Ward tried to feed it in front to Riemann, but it was taken away. Allen trying to skate past Leone. He's not able to get by him, and Leone picked his pocket. Ward on the far side, back to Leone. On the backhand, had it on his stick, but it jumped over it as some contact there in front actually sent Faso to the ice as ECC continues to push. Leone tried to find Ward. The puck was loose, and now it's taken away. Here comes Ward again. Feeds it in front. Out there is Faso. Still loose! And another hat trick, this one for Kevin Riemann.
Dueling hat tricks.
A couple of chances in a row in front of the net for Riemann. And now 2 goals in a row here for the Cats.
This is starting to look like a bit of a repeat of ECC's last game. They fell down by a score of 4-1 in that one. and managed to claw their way all the way back to win that one 6-5. It's now 5-3 here in this contest, and clearly evidence that Buff State can't let their foot off the gas pedal one bit. This is there are a bunch of players here from this ECC squad that are capable of drawing their team back. I don't know what the argument going on here is between one of the Buff State players, Colby Lawrence, and the linesman here about the call.
So it looks like Lawrence is arguing that the net was off its moorings at the time of the Riemann goal, as Faso went post to post to stop that original chance and then subsequently made the second stop. But Riemann, relentless in his pursuit of the loose puck, was able to bring that to the opposite side, and amongst that movement, I believe Faso's left pad may have knocked the net off of its mark, and so Lawrence may be making the argument that the goal should not have counted due to that fact. However, play resumes after the face-off, and ECC goes right back in on the forecheck.
And they keep the top line out there as well.
Buff State now with a 2-on-1 as that one directed towards Zlopik, who's able to make the save. And Leone trying to race up the wall, has that one stolen from him by Paluch and then sent right back in. Making a move is Stotz. He's in all alone, and the pad save is made by Zlopik, and it makes its way to the back of the net. And Paluch is able to find Stotz in front. Buff State regains their 3-goal lead.
Well, Paluch did the work in the neutral zone, making an excellent play on the back check, getting the puck turned over and allowing the Bengals to go back into the offensive zone. And it looked like if Paluch doesn't make that play just outside of the blue line for ECC, that's a rush opportunity for the Cats. Meanwhile, Bengals take it in, get the opportunity, and Stotz puts it in the back of the net.
So Stotz capitalizes after what looked like the initial save from Dominic Zlopik. But a couple minutes after, which we were talking about, each team getting some more high-danger chances in the second period and not able to capitalize, we now see this second period with a pretty high quality of goals as well. And now with just 30 seconds left to go in this second frame, maybe one more chance at it here for the Bengals. Figueroa had it on his stick. That one's spun ahead and all the way down the ice.
No icing here, though.
Ice waved off indeed, and so as Gang chases back behind his own goal line, his pass for Moore is a little bit too far ahead, but Figueroa, the first one there. He spins it ahead for Worth, who had that one jump over his stick, and then the puck is able to get outside the zone, and the buzzer sounds on the second period of action. Score 6-3. A little bit of a closer game in terms of chances, but still it's the Bengals in command as we get ready to take our second break of the day from the 412 Communications broadcast booth. Today's broadcast also brought to you in part by Colvin Cleaners for dry cleaning, wash and fold, tailoring, and more. Colvin Cleaners is who the Bengals trust to keep their uniforms the sharpest in the league. Visit colvincleaners.com or visit them on Elmwood Avenue in Kenmore, just down the street from Buff State Ice Arena, where we will return after a short break to resurface the ice for the third period between the Cats and the Bengals on the Nickel City Hockey Network.
media is everyone shouting for attention and no one hearing a thing. Broadcast to social, print to digital, 412 Communications has the solution to get you heard. Want to know more? Visit 412communications.com today.
Back here at the 412 Communications broadcast booth at the Buff State Ice Arena. 6-3 the score after 2 periods, and getting ready for puck drop of period number 3. It was a scoring frenzy in that second period, and I am interested to see if we see the same thing in the last 20 minutes. My name is Vinny Cristiano III, alongside Aaron Alpert. And Aaron, I'm interested to hear your perspective on how this game has gone and maybe what you've expected, what you want to expect here in this last frame.
Well, it's funny because when you see teams that haven't played each other, at least in the current versions of their teams, there's always that little feeling out process where you want to try to figure out what the other side has. We didn't have that in this game. There was a goal 20 seconds in. Buff State managed to use that as a wake-up call, and they then took over for the rest of the first period. Then it was just a wild second period. 5 goals scored, and 3 of them late in the frame as well. Certainly sets up for what could be a very entertaining third period, as yet again we have the team's top 2 lines facing each other to start the frame.
Fed right out in front as ECC tries to get another quick goal. Another one right on net. Loose puck there. Faso is able to turn it aside. Ward behind the net sees that one rimmed around back to the point. And DeBucky keeps it in. Near side, Riemann works his way up the wall, running out of real estate to work with there, but still with it now is Ward. He takes a shot, and Faso is able to gobble it up. That one seemed like it might have stung a little bit, though.
Still down a little bit. Couldn't quite tell where that shot caught him, but certainly not as quick to get back to his skates as you would expect from Jace Faso, the former ECC Cat goaltender.
So they will give him a second to gather himself. It does not seem like...
Still on one knee, though.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any commotion on the Bengals bench, but it definitely seems like they're willing to give him a couple of moments here after he caught that one. It seemed like just right between the pads as he went down, so there's not nearly as much padding on the thighs, right above those knees. Definitely not as thick as you get in up towards the hips and whatnot. So
certainly looked like one that stung him, and he had to shake off the effects there.
Well, he's able to gather himself back up, and as a big hit is laid on behind the net on Klubeck. ECC tries to work it forward, but Marin forces it ahead. Figueroa lost it in his skates. He's over the blue line. ECC wants offside, so not going to get it. Allen wound up trying to get his 4th of the game, but that one blocked before it gets to the net. Knoll over the blue line, feeds one towards Faso. That one missed, and Marin collects it at his own blue line. Ooh. He gets checked into the wall, and now a penalty coming up against Klubeck. And Marin sends a couple of extra words of wisdom his way. And the first penalty against the Cats is whistled here just a minute 10 into the third.
It was interesting there. That was still the same group from Buff State that had started the period. ECC, meanwhile, had made a change on the offensive zone face-off about 20 seconds beforehand. So you would think that the team with a little bit more gas in their legs, that being ECC for that exchange, would be the one chasing on the play, but it was ECC taking the penalty as Marin had possession there on the far side just in front of the ECC bench, draws the penalty, and Buff State now gets their first opportunity with the man advantage.
This is a power play unit that averages almost a power play goal per game. And Figueroa with it at the point. Sends it. That goes into the far corner. Worth is back there behind the net, which has kind of been his office today. He's been there quite a lot and had some success maintaining possession. That time around, the puck is able to get past him and sent out towards neutral ice, where racing forward as Knoll is able to slide by Figueroa.
Something to note here is the ECC has it in the offensive zone. It's 5 forwards on the ice for this Buff State power play.
Right now, those forwards haven't really had a chance to sustain any zone time, but Marin will now try to change that. He starts forward and slows up right as he hits the blue line. He's now forced wide by Shea, but still keeps the puck. He drops it off for Worth. Worth tried to get it back to Morin on the near side, but with some traffic, the puck redirected and did not make it to him cleanly, but still with possession. Stotz feeds it towards the net. They score! Any way you want it, you'll take it. And Stotz has his second of the game, and the Bengals extend their lead on the power play.
That go in off the defenseman's skate. I think based on the reaction of Marin, he didn't celebrate that one at all, just pointed to Stoats. Stoats going past the bench first for the celebration. He's got 2 on the game now, and the Bengals have reopened a 4-goal lead, taking advantage of the power play.
And now 2 goals in a row for Stoats, although they were separated by the intermission break. And that will successfully end the power play, as Stoats, the 4th Bengal to score in this game. And yet still with 2 goals, not the most on the team, as Allen already has a hattie. ECC known for their continuing of effort and fight, but time will start winding down on them a little bit here if they can't get something going soon. Worth all alone rings it off the outside of the post. The puck is there, and diving on it is Lopik as the Bengals look to extend their lead. Worth gets a tough bounce off the outside of the iron for, I think, the 2nd time today.
Yeah, I was about to say that's 2 posts for Worth already today. Beats the goaltender with 2 different opportunities, one coming in the 2nd period, this one here in the 3rd. And you got to think he's starting to feel a little bit snake-bitten, but not necessarily showing it with the mannerisms out there, as he's still battling hard trying to get that next opportunity to come about.
Mandel and Worth exchange the puck in the corner before it goes back out to the point. The shot through traffic is absorbed by Zlopik, and Worth planted right there on the doorstep looking for a loose puck. 3 minutes into period number 3. He's not going to find it.
Got to think that he is now on a mission to get a goal here in this game. He feels like he should have had 2 at this point by now.
In those games that your team's able to bury as many as the Bengals have here today, definitely feels like when you're a player that's getting that many looks and you're not able to find it, you almost grip the stick a little bit tighter. Worth with speed through the neutral zone. Tries to get his first marker of the game. He backhands one on net. That one, though, covered up by Zlopik as no one was there to create any havoc. And another face-off coming to the goaltender's right. These 2 teams and their stats going into this game do look a little bit different. Buff State as a team is slated as only averaging just under 4 goals per game, whereas the Cats statistically score just above 5. The Bengals, a little bit better scoring defense, though, allow just under 5 goals against per game, whereas the Cats right now record 7 goals against on average. One of those games is a bit of an outlier in the stats, as they were on the wrong side of a game against the St. Bonaventure Division I team, and the Bonnies potted 16 in that contest.
Also, a game against the Bonnies D1 team might have the Buff State numbers skewed a little bit. They gave up 7 to the Bonnies a couple weeks ago.
Puck loose to be vied for as Faso came out to play it. It's sent out towards center ice and knocked down there. As Ward starts in right in front of the Buff State bench. He tries to cut to the net. He backhands one on. Faso able to turn it away. And now Mitchell for Buff State starts ahead. He stops, takes a bump from Ward. And DeBucky behind the net chips that one off the glass and up the wall. Leone ahead for Ward and Riemann. He winds up, fires a shot. That one misses high. And then out towards neutral ice territory. Sees Winklowski take a bump before sending it in. Blackley spins around from a check and is able to escape across his own blue line. He's still being hounded by Leone. And then Winklowski takes it away from him as Buff State makes changes. A little bit of room here to operate for ECC. That stretch pass goes off the stick of Morin. And while they tried to find Leone, it did not get to him cleanly, but Riemann able to skate in with it. He takes a shot, again, block it away by Faso. And then Figueroa starts forward. 3-on-2 here for the Bengals. Figueroa to the backhand. That one poked away from him. Good play from Shea. And now a long shot from distance is gloved by Faso, and he will cleanly hang on to it. Speaking of clean, for dry cleaning, wash and fold, tailoring, and more, Colvin Cleaners is who the Bengals trust to keep their uniforms the sharpest in the league. Visit colvincleaners.com or visit them on Elmwood Avenue in Kenmore for your dry cleaning, wash, fold, tailoring needs.
That's a smooth transition, Vinny.
Thank you very much. I tried my best.
That's two really good ones. The real estate one earlier was equally good, and you might have topped it with that one.
High stake waved off at center ice. Not sure I can segue that one into an ad read yet, but maybe I'll try later. Out in front of the net again as ECC tries to cut into this deficit. Back to the point. Shot from distance misses wide to the left. And now Priori keeps it in. Far side, taken away by the Bengals. Stumbling is Allen as he tried to get out of the zone. His stretch pass for Figueroa was knocked away by Joseph Shea, who gets the puck back right in front of his own net. And I have to say, I think Shea has had probably one of the more underrated good games. There's been now 3 players who have more than one goal. In Riemann, who's got the hat trick, Allen, who has the hat trick, and then Stotz, who most recently had his second goal of the game. But I think for a player who's been off the score sheet in terms of goals, Shea from the Cats has had a really nice game. I've liked his play with and without the puck, despite ECC being on the wrong side of the scoreboard so far.
Likewise, the West Seneca West product, Joey Shea, in his second year at ECC, a lot of offense runs through him on this team. He's not afraid to jump into the play, likes to take those opportunities to rush it into the offensive zone, and we saw him going to work on the power play earlier, all of it running through him at the midpoint. Certainly a talented defenseman in red, number 20 for ECC. They'll certainly need his best if they're going to come back here in this one. Time starting to run down on them.
Big hit laid by Owen Gang just outside the blue line. And that one about as textbook as it gets, separating the man from the puck.
Owen Gang, the product of the Eden Lakeshore Pioneer Springville program.
Alps.
And the Alps team actually starting their season off tonight with a game against Timon. I'm sure that Owen's going to want to check the score on that game as soon as he gets off the ice, but he's making sure he does some good for his team here in this game. Big hit there in the neutral zone to set the tone here midway through third period play.
I remember my first high school goal for the St. Joe's Marauders hockey program came against Eden Lakeshore Pioneer Springville. Morin works his way on the near side. His shot towards the net redirected wide by DeBookie, and then Morin chases right back after it in the far corner to try to get it back. I think he might be a little jealous. He does not have multiple goals in this game, considering he came into this contest the second highest point scorer between either of the two teams. He does have multiple points, but not multiple goals. He's held off the score sheet again, at least temporarily, as he heads to the bench for a change.
I think he's okay with the 4-goal lead that his team's enjoying, though.
I would assume so.
Safe assumption.
ECC able to get possession off of the faceoff. They backhand it to the point, but not out. Shot sent towards the net is taken away. Worth tries to spin one on. That one did not quite make it all the way there. All the way around the boards and to the blue line, where fellow St. Joe's Marauder Magnus Indridson skates ahead. He drops it off for Worth, who sends it back to Indridson, but he wasn't able to get a good stick on the one-timer, but he'll chase it back into the corner. Around behind the net. Spins around, looking for an outlet, doesn't have one. He wanted to flip it to Mandel, but unfortunately for him, they weren't on the same page, and that puck bounces back to the high slot, and now ECC is able to skate away. Orlowski flips it into the corner. He heads to the bench as the Cats make a wholesale change. And now from out behind the net, Blackley tries to skate away, but his pocket is picked, sending it on net. Rebound is there. Opportunity, they score! Matthews buries it, and the Cats have some life here in the third.
Very similar to a play in first period, late in the first period, where Buff State was a little bit sloppy trying to get the puck out of their zone. In this case, they turn it over in the mid-slot. It's a 2-on-1 very quickly, and the finish there to make it a 7-4 game. Still just under 12 minutes to go. 3-goal deficit is not insurmountable at this point.
Face-off won by the Cats as they work it ahead. Taken away by Lawrence, though, as right back at it is Matthews. He's trying to spin the puck free. Right now winning the battle against two Buff State jerseys. The puck eventually finds Kruskowski, who takes the shot, and then that is gloved and held by Faso to slow things down for a second. And this line for ECC has also had some success today. Jersey numbers 14, 15, and 16 all playing together on that forward line. And Lewis Miller, Ryan Matthews, and James Kruskowski have had their fair share of chances, and we'll see if they're able to get something going here in the third to get the Cats back into this one a little bit more firmly. The Bengals trying to answer back again, is skating in, taking the shot, and making the save. Zlopik able to deny Stotz from being the third player to get a hat trick today.
Almost a hat trick of hat tricks.
Wouldn't that be something? Is that like a, I don't know, like a step Ovech trick, if you will?
I'm not sure exactly if it's anything special, and I think I kind of ruined the line if it actually happens.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed to see if it does happen. Maybe think of a better qualification for it. I'll rack my brain to the next whistle. Meanwhile, Buff State flips it just outside their own blue line as Stotz tried to feed it ahead. He's able to get the puck eventually anyhow, and he'll now walk the blue line. A little bit of space to work with. He sends a pass to the far side, and the one-timer misses wide. That puck, as a result, goes all the way out back towards center, and Kummer will feed it right back in. That one went off of the net, and I think it's possible Zlopik got a piece of it before it redirected up and out of play.
Vinny, while we have a moment here, I want to bring some attention to the audience to a battle being fought by a former UNYCHL player, Anthony Amoya, who was part of the Medaille College team, recently diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. Doctors say the 26-year-old Amoya will require aggressive and lengthy treatment, which started earlier on this month. A GoFundMe account has been started to help with the mounting medical bills. To learn more or to donate, see a link on our webpage, nickelcityhockeynetwork.com.
Faso makes the save after the Riemann half breakaway, almost halfway through period number 3, and battles like that happening a lot, and rightfully so, being brought more attention to as like the NHL has Hockey Fights Cancer Month here in the month of November, and those folks who are battling at places like Roswell Park Cancer Institute, not too far here from Buff State Ice Arena, deserving all of our thoughts, prayers, and attention this time of year.
And as much as we know how serious games like this are to the teams on the ice, it's good to have a little bit of perspective sometimes.
A winner and loser on the ice on the score sheet, but more important battles to be won or lost away from the rink, of course, and we send our best to all of those who are battling this month and always. Buff State sends the puck ahead as they look to extend their lead here. They're up 7-4 just past the halfway point of period number 3. ECC able to force a turnover, and their very talented forward Mac Ward feeds it in. Around behind the net, Owen Gang will settle it down. And now the Bengals look to break out. It does eventually find its way towards Jacob Allen, and as he's able to emerge with it, he'll work his way in over the blue line and be whistled for offsides.
Getting a little bit sleepy here in middle third period play. Still a 3-goal lead intact for the Buff State Bengals as they look to snap a 2-game losing streak. Meanwhile, ECC had a winning streak coming into this game, and that one is certainly in danger as they trail by 3.
Morin works his way in, sends it to Figueroa. The return pass out in front, trying to find Worth. Doesn't get to him, but Morin got a second whack at it. That one ricochets to the far corner. Around behind the net for Shea. And then sent all the way down the ice. Too far for everyone, and the whistle will bring the icing all the way back down. Not quite on the same page were the Cats on that home run play, which they've tried a couple of times and had some success. They'll look to get that one to work for them here before this period is over, as
I got to think we'll see that a couple more times here.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen that a couple times a period so far today with pretty high percentage levels of success, albeit maybe not as consistent as they would like, but an opening there to be had as they spin it up the wall towards Anderson, but not out. He sends one towards the net. That one just missed to the left as well. Now pinching in to keep it in is Blackley, who's got it. He makes a nice move to cut towards the net. Now on his backhand, couldn't get the shot off. Indridson steps into it. Pad save by Zlopik. He turns it into the corner. Morin makes a man miss. Now feeds it out for Worth, who sent one off the post again. I think that one might have been more side of the net than anything. And then back to the point, Figueroa sends it right back in.
It's just going to be more iron in his perspective, I'm sure.
Indridson tried to pinch to keep it in the zone. That one just slipped by him. And now, here come the Cats ahead. Indridson getting back to make a nice shot block. Gets the puck to go the other way. Now a pass for Worth has him accelerate into it. He spins around, tried to feed it towards Figueroa. Instead, it goes on net. And the whistle will halt things with 7:40 left to go in period number 3.
Pass just a little bit offline there. It was a pretty clean-looking 3-on-2 setting up in the neutral zone. Couldn't get the pass on the mark. Ends up kind of going as a pretty soft scoring chance. Both teams make some line changes as we are getting towards the final handful of minutes in this contest. Still the Bengals leading by 3.
Another shot redirected just over the net. That one's knocked down out of the air by Winklowski by a high stick.
Dangerous spot to be trying to play one out of the air with a high stick. That
Yeah.
could go anywhere at that point.
So it's whistled down, and the faceoff goes to the other side. And it definitely seemed like if that puck takes a slightly different bounce, it might have been going out in front of the net, which from a defensive perspective you certainly don't want if you're the Cats. Near wall battle, won for a moment by ECC, who, for what it's worth, I didn't really get a chance to talk about this at length earlier. I talked about the interesting jersey matchup today. The grays for the Bengals with the black shoulders, kind of a neat look. I like it. And ECC, I'll call what seems sort of like the Ohio State Buckeye uniforms a little bit, sans the silver helmets. Long shot on by the Bengals from the blue line is wide. And then chasing after it is Stoats on the near wall. He'll get possession of it and feed it over to Gang. His shot is corralled by Zlopik. And as he tumbles over towards that, some pleasantries exchanged between Palladino and Vincent Zach, who had the first Bengals goal of the game on their first of what turned out to be a couple of high-end scoring chances. Speaking of high-end scoring chances,
Penalties.
Envious Gameware, the makers of high-end custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. Find them online at enviousgameware.com to get your team a look to be envious of. That's probably third of the 3.
Yeah, but I like the effort.
I appreciate it.
Just a bland old ad read, anybody could do that. Add a little bit of spice to it.
I
That's
thought
what
about-
they're paying for.
After the first period, I thought they're not getting what, I could give them better. I'm not giving them my best. Militello Realty, 412 Communications, Envious Gameware, and Colvin Cleaners, they deserve a better and a little bit more spice in the ad read. So
Well, certainly
I do my
from
best.
when you think about it from the perspective of the Nickel City Hockey Network, all of our work is only possible because of our sponsors and their generosity and their support of our work. So I certainly echo your thoughts there. It's not enough that we can do to thank them and show our appreciation.
Whistle very quickly after the subsequent face-off. Both players from that little scrum have been sent to the penalty box, and as a result, there's a little bit more real estate to work with here on the ice. They skate 4-on-4. Militello Realty is Western York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and the experience of Militello Realty. Call 716-856-2872 or visit Militello.com. And there's about to be a little bit more real estate on the ice to work with. This is a delayed penalty is going to be coming up against the Cats here, as hauled down in the far corner was Joe Doricio. And that will, I believe, send Ryan Marchiello to the box.
The former Buff State Bengal defenseman, Ryan Marchiello, playing the last 2 years for Buff State, and now moving over to ECC and playing on their blue line. Takes the penalty there, and that sets up a 4-on-3 for the Bengals. A lot of room. Let's see how they can move the puck around here for this scenario.
Looks like 4 forwards out there.
Yep.
Again for Buff State. One of them is Stoats, who feeds it up top to Morin, who works his way in. Around behind, fed it out for Allen. Didn't make it there, but Stoats drops it off. Figueroa with a shot. That one high over the net and then whacked off the boards and out towards center. Ward is going to race after it. Figueroa was able to win that race, but Ward keeps the puck. He cuts towards the net. Figueroa went down. The wrap around. They score. A short-handed goal while down 2 players, I might add, for the very talented Mac Ward. His 9th of the season puts them back within 2.
Yeah, anytime you're one-on-one with a player of that caliber, you have to be sure that you don't let him get free. Figueroa with a good battle there in the corner. Just eventually Ward wins some space, gets enough time to get around the far post, makes the wraparound, and gets it to within 2 now. Still 5 minutes and change to go here in this game as ECC matches the shorthanded goal that Buff State scored earlier in this game. And a little bit more drama now coming together here for the last 5:34. Bengals, though, still on the power play, should be noted.
But Ward takes it away again. He's got room again, shorthanded, through the legs! Oh, wow, Ward! Mac Ward, 2 in a row, both shorthanded. He's got 2 today, 10 on the season, and the Cats are back within 1.
2 goals, shorthanded, down 4 on 3. You would expect to see a situation like that where the offense gets into the other team's zone and spreads it out and moves the puck around. Puck's been in the Buff State zone, though, for the past 30 seconds, and Mac Ward has 2 shorthanded goals. It's now a 1-goal hockey game.
ECC has now scored more goals on this penalty kill than they have on the power play in the last 2 games, including this one. 0 for so far with the man advantage today. Buff State looking to retake the lead with Worth. He drops it off. Here comes Stotz, takes the shot. That one not able to find Twine. Worth keeps possession, though. He cuts towards the net, leaves it off. Oh, out in front, Marin. That jumped just over his stick. Flipping that out towards center, trying to spring Shea, who is on the forecheck as the defenseman, continuing to pad his stats on this impressive game. He collides with Worth at center ice, and now Mandel will work his way towards the offensive zone. Marin spins away from one man. That's poked away from him again. Now able to get one guy out of the box are the Cats as we skate back to 5-on-4 here. Still a penalty kill, though, against ECC before the puck is taken away by Leone. He makes a man miss. He waits, takes a shot. Rebound is there, but it goes all the way to the far wall. Settled down by Mitchell, and Marin right at his goal line in the corner is going to race behind his net. He's then bumped by Riemann, but still maintains possession as he now races ahead. Marin on the backhand into ECC territory. Leaves it off for Mandel. He sends one on goal, and it's saved by Zlopik. And with 4 minutes to go here in period number 3, we are back to 5-on-5, and things have gotten interesting here from the Buff State Ice Arena.
Certainly not what we would have expected after that flurry of penalties. If you would have told me that we had matching minors and then another penalty taken by ECC after that, and then told me it would be a 1-goal game 2 minutes later, I would have told you that you were imagining things, if not making them up completely. Buff State now has to dig in and think about these last 4 minutes, now suddenly up only 1.
They do still have that lead, of course, like you just mentioned, albeit a much smaller one than they've had since pretty early on in that first period.
ECC again trying for that stretch pass off the defensive zone draw.
Not able to work that time around. Buff State gets possession. The shot from distance is saved by Zlopik. And then coming together right at the side of the net as Winklowski falls down to the ice. He takes a couple of swings there at Stotz, who was standing just below the goal line off to the side.
That was Stotz and Joey Shea first.
Yeah.
Not sure where Winklowski came into that mix from.
I think Shea may have been the one who was bumped into by Stotz as they sort of went to the net, and then Shea just stayed right by his goaltender, and then as
that's hilarious.
Winklowski's the third man in. Yeah,
they called nothing on that whole exchange, even though Winklowski went to the penalty box expecting that he had taken one.
And here come the Cats. An opportunity for Matthews as that one's poked away from him. Good defense there by the Bengals, but still some battling left to be had. Now the fans here getting a little bit more vocal in the waning moments of this final frame. More contact below the Bengals net. Indridson comes over to play the man. Shot block along the near wall, but it's kept in by ECC. Fed towards the net, but not on, and then sent all the way down the ice. It's going to go off the side of the cage, and then Shea will be the first one to it to get a whistle on the icing, and the Bengals coaching staff will be arguing what could be a penalty call, or is that still the ice? I mean, I can't imagine that the referee's arm is still up from the icing.
I don't think they like the icing call. I'm not sure why, but that does seem to be what the argument is. See whether or not Buff State chooses to use their timeout here.
Well, there are only 4 Buff State skaters on the ice, and now Marin will join his teammates. And for what feels like maybe they're just the 4th or 5th time today, we've got top line against top line. 3 minutes to go, and I imagine that a good portion of this 3 minutes is going to be between those most prolific names on each of these two teams as we see another icing called. And right as I say that, a quick line change here is had by the Bengals. I want to go back to this point we were making about that special teams flurry there for a couple moments. We said right before that started that, again, it was 4 forwards on the ice for the Bengals. I wonder if that ended up playing as a disadvantage once ECC was able to get possession and then work in for those shorthanded goals.
Well, it's always a good luxury to have when you have those kind of talented players, and I'll pick up that point in a moment.
Oh, here comes Riemann towards the net. He was unable to get a good shot off as he had to jump all the way across the slot. It redirects up and out of play for a whistle, but you said talented players.
Yeah,
you've got a couple out there now.
If you could put 4 or 5 talented players out there on the power play, if they're your best players at forwards, they're your best players, and you put them out there. But that's the double-edged sword part of it. If they have to play a little bit of defense, it could be some trouble.
Here comes trouble as the Bengals work in an odd man rush. The pass was not able to find Doricio in front. And now it's whacked high in the air towards the bench and then out of play. So a redirection there stops what could have been a bit of a counterattack from ECC.
It looked like it was a 2-on-1 potentially for the Bengals, that the pass didn't get across, and then ECC looked to go back in the other direction, but the puck ends up being deflected into the Buff State bench and slipping through the fingers of head coach Tim Turner.
Here comes Doricio. He finds some room. He takes the shot. That is saved by Zlopik. And
penalty.
He is going to go into the boards after, I believe, drawing a penalty. Indeed, another power play coming up here for Buff State.
Hooking call against DeBucky. So with 2:31 to go, the Bengals get a 2-minute power play leading by 1. That is certainly a timely moment in the game to get the man advantage, but a reminder, the last time that they were up men, they ended up giving up 2 shorthanded goals.
Sent all the way down the ice on net. Faso will play it there for the Bengals and leave it behind the net for Figueroa. I will add real quickly here, Aaron, Christian Leone is the one serving the penalty. So the penalty called on one of the more prolific scorers for ECC. And as they still find themselves down by a goal, you'll see there as Riemann forechecks, he forces Figueroa to make a decision, but Allen is able to go back and get it. And now
they're just going to play
they're
4
take
corners
their time.
here, aren't
yeah.
they? This is like the old basketball trick where you just hold on to the ball before they have the shot clock. They eventually get the puck up ice, though.
Here comes Marin. He's able to be forced away by Shea. Now the Cats are able to send it all the way down the ice. Figueroa is there waiting for it. And in soccer terms, I've heard this referred to as parking the bus.
There you go.
If you will. And so Buff State with now a minute left of power play time and about 90 seconds left to go.
Overall here, minute 25 to go in regulation. Bengals are just going to try to play keep away, it seems.
Marin starts in. He tried to feed it back to Allen. Shea raced for it. Ian Wirth is able to get over there with some speed and take it away. And then now with possession is Riemann. He's got 3. Can he even up this game? He tried to work in, made the extra move. That one taken away from him, though. Good defense in part by Stotz, as now he has a rolling puck settled just on the far side of the ice. 30 seconds left in the ECC penalty kill. Riemann going to try to take it away from him.
He's been out there a while.
But he has been there, I think, since the 3-minute mark. And now he will skate towards the bench to get some rest as the puck was almost worked free as Ward had it for a second. But now able to escape his Stotz once more. He sends it ahead. Ward takes it away from him on the stick lift, and then he sends it to Shea, who has to spin away from pressure. even up at 5-on-5 here as he sends it off the boards all the way down the ice.
No icing.
And no icing called there. Now an
don't know
empty
why that
net
was
for
went up.
ECC as Ward flips it. He tried to find his man. Both teams making changes. Out in front, Leone takes the shot. Loose puck to be had. It's still available, and it goes behind the net. Whacked up the wall. 10 seconds to go. Fed towards the high slot. Taken away by Mitchell and into the corner. Indridson will flip it off the glass and out towards center. And that will end what was an incredibly exciting third period as the Bengals are able to escape a charging ECC Cats team as a couple of extracurriculars happening simultaneous and post-buzzer. As I believe Worth, when he was chasing after the loose puck, was tripped up there while entering the ECC zone.
Yeah, it looked like Ian got tripped up there as he was trying to run down that loose puck there to try to get the empty net goal at the end of the game. Certainly thinking about the 2 posts he hit earlier on in the game, trying to get the 1 marker in before the final buzzer went. Ends up just resulting in some conversation between a couple of players there and the referee, and the horn goes to finish what was a very entertaining hockey game. It looked like Buff State was in command for quite a bit of time during this game, even though they gave up the game's first goal. They seem to be well in command, well on their way to a pretty convincing victory, but Mac Ward tried to make things different on his own there with the 2 shorthanded goals, and it set up some really interesting drama for the last 5 minutes. Another entertaining hockey game between these 2 schools. They met 3 times last year, with Buff State winning the first game, ECC winning the second regular season game, and then the playoff game. Buff State gets a little bit of revenge for that, picking up the win here on home ice with a 7-6 final.
These 2 teams will meet again, but not for a while. Their next scheduled matchup, Saturday, February 1st at 2:20 p.m. Seems like it's going to be a highly anticipated one after this 7-6 victory from the Buff State Bengals. They come out on top today on home ice. As we wrap things up here from the Nickel City Hockey Network, shout out to Toby Bell, our producer. Thank you, Aaron Alpern, for joining us not only on color but on camera here today. My name, Vinny Cristiano III. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next time.